You know, if you're a regular blood donor, you are an absolute hero, seriously. You know that incredible feeling of helping someone out in a big way. But to keep giving, you've got to take care of yourself first, right? So that's what we're going to get into today. This is your guide to staying healthy and ready to save lives all year round.
All right, so we've broken it all down into 4 main parts. First up, we're going to geek out a little on your body's amazing recovery process. Then we'll get super practical and talk about how to fuel your internal blood factory, love that term, with the right foods. After that, we'll zoom out and look at the daily health habits that really make a huge difference. And to wrap it all up, we'll share some smart tips to help you make donating a sustainable habit for the long haul.
Okay, so every time you donate whole blood, you're giving somewhere between 350 and 450 milliliters. Now, to put that in perspective, that's about the size of a can of soda. It might not sound like a ton, but believe me, your body has some real work to do to make that back up. So that leads us right to the big question, right? How exactly does your body rebuild everything it's just given away? The whole process is actually pretty fascinating. So let's dive right into Section 1, your body's recovery process. We're going to look at what your body is giving up, and more importantly, how it gets it all back. See, it's not just about replacing the volume of liquid. Your body's working hard to replenish some really specific, really vital stuff. We're talking about plasma. That's the liquid part of your blood. Then you've got red blood cells, which are your all-important oxygen taxis. Of course, there's iron, a key building block for those cells, and a bunch of other trace vitamins and nutrients. And this, right here, is why your year-round health is so crucial. Your body doesn't just magically rebuild everything overnight. Check this out. Plasma levels, they bounce back in just a couple of days. But your red blood cells, that takes a few weeks. And getting your iron stores fully back up to snuff, well, that can take months. It's a total marathon, not a sprint.
All right, that brings us to Section 2, fueling your blood factory. And I really like that analogy. If your body is a factory, then this section is all about making sure the supply closet is stocked with all the raw materials it needs to run smoothly.
Okay, first up, and this is the big one, let's talk about iron. Iron is literally the main ingredient for hemoglobin. That's the protein in your red blood cells that grabs onto oxygen and carries it around. So the main takeaway here, you've got to keep those iron reserves topped up. We're talking lean meats, beans, leafy greens, and even those iron-fortified cereals.
But here's a really interesting tidbit. Not all iron is created equal. The iron you get from plant-based foods, think spinach or lentils, it's a little trickier. Your body has a harder time absorbing it all by itself. But that plant-based iron has a secret weapon, a partner in crime, if you will. And that partner is vitamin C. When you eat plant-based iron with something rich in vitamin C, you basically supercharge your body's ability to absorb it. It's a total game changer.
So, what does that look like in real life? Think about some easy food pairings. If you're having a spinach salad, throw in some bell peppers or tomatoes. Making some lentil soup, a big squeeze of fresh lemon juice on top is perfect. Oranges, strawberries, broccoli, all of these are your iron's best friend. Okay, next on the list is protein. It's another one of those essential building blocks. It's not just for hemoglobin, but it's also crucial for supporting your bone marrow, which is where all those new red blood cells get made. You can kind of think of it as the framework of your blood factory.
And of course, we can't forget the B vitamins, specifically B12 and folate. If iron and protein are the building materials, think of these guys as the quality control managers in your factory. They make sure your bone marrow is producing healthy, high-quality red blood cells. You'll mostly find B12 in animal products, and folate is packed into leafy greens and legumes.
So when you put it all together, this is kind of what your plate should look like. We're aiming for a balanced, nutrient-packed meal. You've got whole grains for energy, lean protein for building, and tons of fruits and vegetables for all those vitamins and minerals we just talked about. This right here, this is the foundation. And that's a perfect lead into Section 3, Foundations for Daily Health. Now we're going to zoom out from the specific foods on your plate and look at the bigger picture, the lifestyle habits that really support your whole donation journey.
Okay, this first one might sound super basic, but I can't stress it enough. Hydration. Water literally makes up most of your blood plasma, so staying hydrated day in and day out supports your overall blood volume and circulation. It's absolutely vital for making sure your donation goes smoothly and your recovery is quick. An active lifestyle also plays a massive role. When you exercise regularly, your heart and lungs get way more efficient at delivering oxygen everywhere. So why does that matter for you as a donor? Well, a more efficient system means your body is much better equipped to handle that temporary dip after you donate, and it really helps keep your energy levels up.
And please, please do not underestimate the power of sleep. That 7 to 9 hour window, it's the gold standard for a reason. Sleep is when your body is doing all of its heavy lifting, repairing tissue, balancing hormones, and just generally recovering from, well, everything.
So really, it all comes down to a balance, right? It's about building up those good habits, like regular exercise and consistent sleep, and trying to limit the things that kind of work against you. For example, smoking makes it harder for your body to deliver oxygen, and too much alcohol can mess with how you absorb nutrients. See, it's all connected.
Okay, we're heading into our final section, donating for the long haul. Think of this as the Smart Donor's playbook for making this amazing habit a safe and sustainable part of your life for years to come.
First things first, you have to respect the waiting period. For whole blood donations, that's usually 3 months. And that number isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's based on the minimum time your body needs to fully rebuild its iron stores and red blood cells. Trying to donate sooner isn't heroic, it's actually counterproductive. Just give your body the time it's asking for.
And beyond that, just stay tuned in to how you're feeling. Get your regular checkups, and if you notice you're feeling tired or weak all the time, don't just ignore it. That's a sign. It's worth talking to a doctor about just to make sure you're in tip-top shape to donate.
Which brings us to what might be the single most important piece of advice in this whole thing. Seriously, everyone's body is different, everyone's recovery is unique. The bottom line, the golden rule, is this. Listen to your body. Pay attention to the signals it's sending you.
So there you have it, a complete guide to taking care of yourself so you can keep being a hero. Remember, it's not just about what you do on donation day itself. It's about all the small, consistent choices you make every single day that add up. So the real question to leave you with is, what's one thing you'll do this week to support your life-saving habit?